You are not the main character of your story. You are its captive audience. For decades, you've sat in the theater of your own skull. You've watched the same tragic reruns of the past. You've previewed every catastrophic premiere of a future that never arrives, and you've mistaken this endless, private screening for your life. But what you are witnessing is not reality. It's a production, a simulation built from memory and fear, and you've been tricked into believing you're the director when you're just a prisoner in the back row. Let's name the prison. It's the voice, not your voice. A voice. The one that critiques your reflection before you've even had coffee. The one that turns a stranger's glance into a lifetime of judgment. It's the silent architect of your doubt, the ghostwriter of your every anxiety. You think this is you. This is your personality, but it is not. It is a conditioned noise, a survival machine left running in an empty room. And right now, you are not here. You are a million miles away, lost in a film that only you can see. But what happens on the day the projector breaks? What happens in the sudden, shocking silence? I am not talking about positive thinking. That is just changing the channel on the same device. I am talking about smashing the screen entirely. This is the most profound shift a person can know. The end of the phantom self. When you exit the theater of your mind, the world doesn't just look different. It feels different. Time stretches, details sharpen. Your simple presence begins to pull on the gravity of a room. But to step outside, you must first see the bars on your cell. You will feel resistance. The narrator will plead with you to stop watching, to click how wide to stay in the comfortable nightmare. That is the system protecting itself. Stay. The key is hidden in the discomfort. Here is the brutal arithmetic of your pain. The first wound is life itself. The rejection. The loss. The unexpected blow. It is real. It lands. It draws blood. Then comes the second wound. This is the one you inflict. It is the story you layer over the event. This loss means I am worthless. This silence means I will be alone forever. The initial strike happens once. The second, you are the archer. You fire that arrow into the same spot, day after night, after year. Why? Because your ancient brain equates quiet with danger. In the stillness, a predator might be circling. So your mind, desperate to protect you, will invent threats, if none exist. It will script dramas of humiliation and failure just to feel useful. It believes that by worrying, you can control the chaos. This is the great illusion of anxiety, that spinning in mental circles is somehow steering the car, and this illusion distorts everything. You cease to see people. You see reflections of your own insecurity. If you feel unworthy, you perceive arrogance in others. If you carry guilt, you hear accusation in every harmless word. You are not in a relationship with another person. You are in a relationship with the character you've written for them. You argue with a ghost while the real soul stands before you, unseen. This is why connection feels so impossible. You are trapped behind a one-way mirror. The cost you are paying with the substance of your life, not your heartbeat, but your experience. You are not tasting the meal. You are not hearing the song. You are not feeling the warmth of the hand in yours. You are a tourist in your own existence. There is a strategic weakness here. The overthinker is slow. They hesitate. They double guess. They falter. In any contest of wills, the person who is trapped in their head has already lost. The one who is fully present, whose mind is clear and still, operates from a place of unmovable power. Think of the peak performer, the masterful artist, the decisive leader. In their moment of flow, thought ceases. There is only action and awareness, fused. When you are lost in narration, you burn energy on a phantom task. This is why you wake up exhausted. You've been fighting a war in a dream, and people sense this absence. We are wired to detect it. When someone is trapped in their own narrative, they vibrate with a frequency of neediness and distraction. You know these. You speak to them, and their eyes are elsewhere, planning their next line. Do you trust them? Do you feel their strength? No. Now imagine the opposite. A person whose attention is complete. A listener whose silence is so total it feels like a force. They are not performing. They are perceiving. That is true presence. And it is the most compelling form of power. When you stop living in the commentary, you become that person. You become the calm center. But this requires a fundamental revelation about your identity. And this will unsettle you. Who are you, truly? Are you your resume? Your past mistakes? Your body? No. These are things you have. Here is the experiment. Pause. Ask yourself, what thought will appear next? And wait. Watch. Did you feel it? That brief, open space before the next idea emerged. In that gap, you were there. The thought was an object that passed through. If you can witness your thoughts, then you cannot be your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. The screen is not the movie. You are the vast, silent space in which the entire film of your mind plays out. You are not the storm of thoughts. You are the sky that holds them. The voice is a biological instrument. It spits out data. It's cold. She might be upset. This is too hard. It's just information. The critical error is that you treat every data point as a sacred truth. When the machine whispers you are a fraud, you don't observe the signal. You become Italiano. You fuse with the noise. True detachment is the practice of seeing the machine without sticking your hands in its gears. It is noting, I feel a tightness in my chest, instead of declaring, I am anxiety. The difference between I am sad and I notice sadness is the difference between drowning and standing on the shore, watching the wave. This isn't about stopping the machine. You can not. Trying to force your mind silent is like trying to flatten ocean waves with your palms. You will only create more spray. Let the machine run. Let it chatter. Let it panic. But withdraw your belief in its announcements. Treat your mind like a frantic passenger on a bus you're driving. If the passengers screamed about every turn and every other car, would you quit driving and argue? No. You'd acknowledge the noise and keep your eyes on the road. Eventually, the passenger, ignored, settles down. You don't fight the darkness. You deprive it of your attention. So, why is this so difficult? If it's this straightforward, just watch. Don't engage. Why does nearly everyone fail? Because, in the shadowy depths, you are in love with your own suffering. You protest. You say you hate the anxiety, the depression. But secretly, your pain provides your identity. Who would you be without the story of the wounded one? The misunderstood genius, the survivor of that past event. If the internal commentary stopped, you would face the profound responsibility of the present moment. You would have to author your life from a blank page. The ego would rather be the tragic hero of a terrible play than an extra in a peaceful one. To leave the theater of your mind, you must be willing to let the main character die. This is the ego death the mystics speak of. It is the realization that the you've been protecting is a construct of old scars and borrowed scripts. When you step into the observer, you become nobody. And to the ego, that is a fate worse than misery. This is why, when you sit in silence, your mind erupts with every urgent memory and fear. It is a tantrum thrown by a puppet who feels its strings being cut. Let its screams stand firm in the silence. This is the real work. It is far easier to remain a prisoner than to become the warden. The reward on the other side is sovereignty. The first thing you notice is a rich, full quiet. You stop waiting for life to begin. You see that it is already here, happening only in this eternal now. Fear cannot live here. Fear is a parasite that feeds on the future. When you reside in the present, you can act or accept, but you cannot fear a moment you are fully facing. Your efficiency transforms. Procrastination is just mental friction. Without it, you see a task and you execute. No debate. Your relationships undergo a revolution. You no longer use others to validate a ghost. You see them as they are, and being truly seen is the rarest gift you can give another. You become a magnet for authenticity, and you become, in a strategic sense, dangerous. A person who is not manipulated by their own mind cannot be manipulated by others. Advertisements become transparent. Emotional guilt trips have no hook. You move through the world awake, while so many are still dreaming. The game becomes clear, and you are free to play it without attachment. Tomorrow, the old script will begin. I'm not enough. Today will be hard. Catch it. That is the entire practice. Notice. There is the old voice. And then return to the breath, to the sensation of your feet on the ground, to the light in this room. Do this once, then 10 times, then 10,000. Each return is a repetition. You are building the muscle of conscious presence. The gaps of peace will widen. And one day, walking somewhere ordinary, you'll realize the commentary has fallen silent. And for the first time, you will truly see a tree. Not the idea of a tree, but the living thing in its silent, majestic fact. If this resonated with you, then you are not like most. Most will close this tab and return to the familiar noise. But you are here, at the edge of silence. If you want to go further, the journey continues. The deepest mechanics of the psyche, the true architecture of the self, cannot be fully unpacked here. The most transformative insights exist beyond the public feed. If you're ready to move from audience to architect, your path is waiting. But for now, if this added a piece to your puzzle, do me a favor. Press live. It tells me this is valuable for you. And subscribe to Winds of Thought for more maps out of the maze.